so hard to get the right place. I just want to find a place, you know, that I like and where I'll meet my friends.
We're trying to get some jobs, but it seems that nobody will accept us, you know. Down here it's hard to get a job.
Glasgow got a bit of a drag, so I just split.
John came to London to look for his girlfriend. Most of the time he has a straight job, but he's going to a crash pad now because it's friendly and he hasn't much money.
Hello.
Eric, the flat owner, works in broadcasting. He's one of the many part-time alternative people.
Okay, well, sit down, make yourself at home. Now, I'll get the mattress later and put it down here, and you'll keep in here, okay? Right. And I'll go make some coffee now.
If John needed more than just a bed for the night, if he had fallen foul of the system, he could have gone to BIT too,
right,
or one of the other welfare organizations. Caroline Kuhn founded Release, originally to help young people with drug problems. But unlike BIT, Release wants to win support from straight society.
The prime role of Release is, in fact, to talk to those people who don't know what's, where we are at. So, we're trying to express ourselves to the establishment, to individuals in society who, for instance, have never spoken to young people before. This is causing us, as an organization, quite severe ideological problems. We really believed 3.5 years ago that, given the facts, given an alternative point of view, that the authorities would accept some of what we had to say. This seems not to be true. And the whole organization was, in fact, in jeopardy because we had not become as radical as a great many of the young people that come to us wanted us to be. We were still using the official channels to channel our discontent. And they said that 3.5 years is long enough time for some changes to have been made. And in fact, society doesn't, at a legislative level, doesn't seem to have changed its view at all. And in fact, it's becoming more oppressive. I'm very sure that if a lot of very ordinary people were exposed to the sort of attitudes that we subscribe to, they'd be very excited and very thrilled and very positive and happy that there was a great sort of energy amongst young people to express some sort of hope for the future of mankind. I think what is very surprising that although the majority of us live in the ghetto and we have very little money for sort of material possessions, we still live a very good life by virtue of the fact that we're trying to build up, I think, some sort of spiritual way of existing.
The Quintessence pop group is strongly influenced in their lives and their music by Eastern mysticism. They represent two of the three forces which probably unite the elements of the alternative: pop music, an interest in Eastern non-intellectual argument, and drugs. Quintessence is unusual. Often pop musicians take on the role of magical priests, but they don't encourage this kind of adulation. Most of all, they value their family life with their wives and children. It's not groupies who follow them round to their evening gigs, but friends and family.
We don't talk about the moon is blue, I love you too. It's things relating to higher forms of consciousness, mantras which we use, which are word combinations, which we get the audience to participate in and speak back to us. And this elevates consciousness. And what we try to do is to actually raise up the vibrations of the audience and ourselves to a more sort of God-intoxicated state. The group in spirit's very communal. We don't all live in the same house, though we see each other every day for long hours of that day. We spend a lot of time with each other. Our religious beliefs are different. We follow different paths, though our goal is exactly the same.
Some of the group look to Swami Ji as their guru or spiritual teacher. He gave them their Indian names. He helps them in other ways too, like sorting out personal problems that any of the group members might have.
He has visiting hours, which are strictly kept. We can go to see him at certain hours of the afternoon and the evenings. Other times he'll come and visit us socially, or as tonight he'll come round and we're going to have what they call a kirtan, which is where the devotees, which are about 20, 25 in number, will get together, sit round, read from the scriptures, meditate communally, let Swamiji discourse and talk about religious things, and then afterwards share in what they call prasad, which is food that's been dedicated, and we all sit round and eat. And then everybody goes home and meditates.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
This is a recording session, but like a kirtan, the devotees and Swami turn up to join in the Indian chants. It becomes a group celebration.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama.
Why are so many young people turning towards Eastern religion?
Well, it's been proven in the past, I suppose, and most people like that, feeling that philosophy and enlightenment and all those things that people are interested in have been set in the East and been tried for thousands of years very successfully. And obviously the Western way of life being so material and all the other things that go with it, it's very difficult for them over here. So they turn towards that. Things are changing and people aren't satisfied anymore with the old routine and doing what they were told to do, and maybe going out and getting a job and doing that exactly what they've been told to do. People have now got more time to make a choice. And they should start seriously considering why they are on this planet Earth and what are they going to do with the time while they're here. It's a good question to ask oneself. And everybody's going to have a different answer to that.
There's a thing called Christianity, which makes which religion that promise to in an afterlife somehow it'll all be pearly gates and choirs and lots of sugar candy, which will be a big reward for them to devoting themselves to this thing called work. And work is very good for you. Work's good for the soul, and it keeps you alive, and it's ennobling. I mean, in previous civilizations it wasn't ennobling. Work was a terrible thing, which was just done by slaves. And what was ennobling, say in Greek society, was meditation, was the cultivating out of appreciating music. And what I find interesting is though we haven't got a society of slaves anymore, hopefully technology is becoming the substitute for slaves. And again, man will learn that in moments of leisure you can reach the most fulfillment, because you cannot fulfill yourself while you're bloody well cleaning up garbage or while you're banging out parts on a Ford motor car.
I don't actually subscribe to the idea that people voluntarily drop out of society. I think every individual really wants to live and contribute to the society that he is living in. I mean, you cannot have any meaning in your life unless you feel that you're doing something, either for yourself, for your own lifetime, and that you will leave something for posterity or your children and your grandchildren. And so I think that if people drop out, it's a way of their rationalizing an inability to get involved with society as it is today.
Drown me deep in the sea of your love. Drown me